Hi everyone, my name is Ebony Jones and we're going to go over our travel OneNote activity that we created about 2 weeks ago. We were given the task to create a travel itinerary including a bunch of different information that we will go over in this video, as our boss is traveling for business from Mexico City and leaving from Post Falls. So we'll go ahead and start off. So it looks like we are set to leave Wednesday, April 30th. We're going to leave at 7:26 from the Spokane International Airport, and then we're going to go to Seattle and have a layover there for 41 minutes. And then at 8:56, we're going to go ahead and depart from Seattle Airport. And then we're going to go land in Mexico City at 3:55. And Mexico City is Central Time, the zone. And then it looks like on Thursday, May 1st, the next day after we land in Mexico City, we have a business meeting at 8 a.m. And then it looks like we're there for about 7 to 6 days, and then it looks like on May 7th we're going to depart from Mexico City at 8 a.m. and land in Guadalajara at 9:35 a.m. That is also Central Time as well. And then the next day, Thursday, May 8th, we have another business meeting at 8 a.m. And then it looks like we're there for another 6 to 7 days, and it looks like we will depart on May 14th. We will go from the Guadalajara airport. We'll go back to Mexico City for an hour and a half layover. We'll leave Mexico City, land in Los Angeles, and then we will go ahead and depart from the Los Angeles airport and land back at Spokane International Airport. Alright, we have some airline information. For the flight down to Mexico City, we will be flying Delta Airlines. And then once we go from Mexico City to Guadalajara, we're going to be flying a Mexican airline. And then same as well as from Mexico City to Guadalajara. Everything, all their information regarding baggage, booking flights, all that can be found on their websites. Okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go next to our airport maps. Okay. So, this first map that we have here, we have the Spokane International Airport. Definitely a little bit smaller of an airport, but still want to make sure that our boss knows where they're going, so they know where to get to their gate on time. And then we have our Mexico City airport, as well as the Guadalajara airport. Alright. And then I did not include the Seattle or Los Angeles airport maps because they were going to only be simple layovers. So we'll go ahead and go to the hotel information next. So we have the address for the Mexico City airport. Right next to the airport is going to be the Marriott Hotel, along with the phone number, and then the cost for the stay in US dollars would be $1,050 to about $1,750. And then we'll also go ahead and stay in another Marriott hotel in Guadalajara. We have their address as well as their phone number, and then a cost there to stay there for a week would be about $560 to $805. Alright, our transportation for destinations. We're actually going to leave our house and we're going to drive our own vehicle to the Spokane airport and park in economy parking. Since we will be gone for 2 weeks, it is cheaper than getting a ride service. So the Mexico City airport to hotel, we're going to go ahead and taxi. It'll be about $5 to $10 US. And then the hotel to meeting, that'll be another $5 to $10. Then we're going to go from the hotel to the Mexico City airport. It's going to be another $5 to $10. And then the Guadalajara to hotel, we're going to go ahead and use rideshare services. That was a cheaper option for us. We're going to go ahead and it'll be between $8 and $12. And then we're going to also do the same rideshare services from the hotel to the meeting, and then as well as the hotel to the Guadalajara airport. And then on average, parking in the economy parking at Spokane Airport, it'll be about $98 for parking, and we'll just drive home afterwards. And then, so we are departing April 30th, 2025, and then we're going to return on May 14th, 2025. We're going to do Delta's one-way down to Mexico City. We'll depart at the 30th on April 30th at 7:26 and land in Mexico City at 3:55. We'll have one layover in Seattle for 41 minutes. Then we're going to go Viva Aerobus one way, and we're going to go from, it departs May 7th, 8:15 a.m. and lands at 9:35 a.m. That's a non-stop. That one's going to be from Mexico City to Guadalajara. And then we have the Aero Mexicano one-way. We're going to leave May 14th at 10:18 a.m. and land at 9:40 p.m. And you're going to have one stop in Mexico City and Los Angeles before you get back to the Spokane airport. And then same thing here, Delta on the 30th at 7:26, and then we'll land in Mexico City at 3:55. Viva Aerobus from Mexico City to Guadalajara, that's a non-stop, and then we'll have a one-way that'll stop in Mexico City and Los Angeles on the way back from Guadalajara to Spokane. And then just some informational stuff regarding Mexico and stuff. And Guadalajara, both their power sockets are type A and B, and standard voltage is 127 voltages, which is it's more voltage than the US ones, which are usually 120 voltage outlets. And then their currency is going to be a Mexican peso. One Mexican peso is the equivalence of 0.049 cents in the US dollars. Greetings in Mexico are warm and polite, emphasizing in respect, connection. In professional settings, a firm handshake with good eye contact is standard for social encounters, and handshake may be accompanied by a pat on the back for men. When making greeting, ensure to include small talk about family, weather, or health before talking about business. Introductions in Mexico hold significant importance as they set the tone for both professional and social interactions. Make sure to maintain good eye contact and smile during the introductions, which shows respect, friendliness, and genuine interest. In Mexico, using titles is a sign of respect and is ingrained in both social and professional interactions. Use professional titles when addressing business colleagues. Avoid using first name unless you're invited to use the person's first name. And then business cards are important, but are less formally compared to other cultures. They're typically exchanged at the end of the meeting, making sure having a Spanish version of your business card. And then when offering the business card, present it with both hands or with just your right hand, which is considered polite and professional. For business etiquette, we're going to want to use a firm handshake with direct eye contact is common, using professional titles, dress formally, and arrive on time. And then business gifts are not required but appreciated. They don't need to be elaboratedly wrapped. Expect to open gifts in front of the giver of the gift. And then their operational hours is typically working 8 hours per day from Monday to Saturday, and are entitled 1 day full rest with pay each week, which is different from the American work week, which is Monday through Friday. And then punctuality is appreciated. It's common for meetings and events to start later than scheduled. Flexibility is also a valued aspect in the country. And then nonverbal communication, what's seen as acceptable is eye contact, handshakes, gestures. Offensive can be pointing, hands in pockets, beckoning, and moving away for more space. They find it more acceptable to be closer to each other. Languages in both Mexico City and Guadalajara, they speak Spanish. And then in the time zone information, both destinations are in the Central Standard Time. Some required travel documents would be a valid passport. I'm not quite sure how to say this, but it's known as a tourist card if you're going there for non-business, and then a visa if you're staying longer than 180 days or for another activity than business. Medical requirements, required vaccinations would be the COVID-19. Recommended would be hepatitis A, B, rabies, typhoid, cholera, and some current health risks is dengue, multiple drug-resistant salmonella, Newport, Rocky Mountain spotted fever as well. So you definitely want to make sure you're up on date with your vaccines. And then in Mexico City, the nearest American embassy is in Mexico City, and then we're also lucky to also have another American embassy in Guadalajara, so really close and convenient for our traveling. And then the country code is +52, and the area code for Mexico City is 55, and the area code for Guadalajara is 33. And then it looks like while we're down there, the weather's in Mexico City is gonna be about 76 degrees Fahrenheit, and then Guadalajara will be 88 degrees Fahrenheit. And then down while we're traveling, May 1st is going to be Labor Day for them, Day of the Holy Cross, May 3rd, and then